Jun Lang. This is Alan Cockrell with ABC hitting coordinator for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I hope I get your name right, so forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. But anyway, we're going to run through your video today, and we're just going to take a look at some things, and I'm going to point out some things that I talked to my guys about. When I look at your setup, and your setup looks pretty good. In the load, you know what, I just see a little bit of sway back, you know, and when we start to go back, this back knee, we don't want it to get over that back foot. That's a position that it's not really balanced in what we want to do as a hitter. We want to transfer weight in the front side, and whenever that knee gets stacked over the back side, two things happen. We either have the tendency to just sit on that back leg and spin, or we have a tendency to push forward and push up. And when I watch your swing, it's a little bit more of the first. We sit on that back leg and we spin a little bit, and opens up our front side. That's going to make us a little vulnerable to off-speed pitches, change-ups, any pitches that are outer half, outer thirds. We're going to talk a little bit about just getting you into a better position with your load, and then how to get your lower half more involved with the power and the drive, and then let the hands catch up and work along with that. So first thing we're going to talk about is in this load right here. When this knee stacks and gets over this back foot right here, as I mentioned, the tendency, or your tendency, is to want to kind of sit there and spin. You've probably heard the term stay back for a number of years since you started hitting. So you know, that is how a lot of kids interpret that. Now, when we get the foot down, you know, there's some positions that we want to be in. Because you were on that back leg, that knee was over that back side at this particular time, now what I see your head sitting more on your back leg as opposed to more centered. I see the head here, and I'd rather see that head way out here more over your belt buckle, okay? The other thing is equal bend in both knees. I see, you know, a little bit of difference there. Knees are inside the feet for balance. Hips, we want to be square. You get a little bit tilt in your hips, meaning you're starting to work open to the front side. The hands separated back behind your back knee, good, but we want those hands to be up here about shoulder height, and then the angle of that back should be somewhere up in this area right here. So what we're going to do is, from this position, Junling, we're going to sit on that back leg and we're going to spin, and now we're going to sweep. Those hands are going to sweep out and around your body, as opposed to kind of letting the elbow drop underneath and then work straight to the ball and then extend through the ball. So we're going to work just with a little bit more of a sweeping swing. So again, most of all, let's get the hands up here and let's get that bat more in this type of an angle, and see if we can't get tips a little bit more squared up. And again, head's going to be over the belt buckle. Try to be more in an attacking position. Now as we start to go forward, what we want to do is ride this knee and transfer weight into there. As this knee goes, then this elbow would then start to drop underneath. You've already started to drop your hands, so that tells me that we're going to sweep the bat out and around just a little bit. Let's take a look, see what happens. We can see now that your hands have connected, meaning your hand and your back hip are working, but we just have got the leg drive into the front leg like we would like for it to get before our hands get to that position. That is the position we want the hands in. However, they're working ahead of the leg drive. So we get to contact, and then you can see how we just kind of fall back on our back leg, and the hands are kind of pulling across our body, a little bit of a recoil back. So, you know, how do we work on something like this? I think the best way that most good hitters work on a particular pitch or a particular location is off a tee. And what I would like for you to do is, we're going to set this tee out here on the outer third, okay? And we're going to set it even with or just inside your stride foot, so somewhere in this area. And then we're just going to work on getting into a good, proper loaded position. And when that foot sets down right there, you know, we want these hands we want these hands to be seen up here. This is what we want the hands to be, inside that arrow or inside that circle. We want the barrel of the bat to be up there. Now, let's get our lower half. Let's get our lower half driving into that front leg, and as we do, now that elbow drop underneath. There's a imaginary cord that goes from this knee to this elbow. So when this knee goes, it pulls that elbow underneath with us. Then we can get connected, and we'll have the ability to be able to go ahead and get through this ball. One of the other things that I see a little bit with you is this front foot, and again, a lot of this is because we're just sitting on the back leg. Is this front foot is opened at, I think it says 65 degrees. We want to try to keep that front foot at a 45-degree angle, and the more it opens beyond 45, the more it opens this front hip. And if that opens too quickly to the pull side, then that's the path, or that's the direction that our swing is going to take. So again, making it very difficult to handle this pitch out here on the outer third. So when we start to work on these things, let's get in a cage with a bag of balls and set that tee out there, and let's load and set our foot down to where our head is directly over the belt buckle. This front foot is a 45-degree angle. These hands are up here in the circle up here with the bat angle more in this position here. Now drive that back knee, drive it straight in the inside part of this front leg, and as it does, at that point the elbow will drop down underneath. Now you're in a position to have not only good drive and power with the legs, but you're also in a position to have good direction. That's going to allow your bat path to come down to this ball and then extend all the way through this ball. So in a cage setting, this would be a line drive that we would hit through the right side of the cage. If we take a swing where our front side opens up too much, kind of as you are right now, then this would be a ball that we would roll over to the left side of the cage, or our hands would end up dragging, and we would pop this ball up into the top of the cage. So our goal is just line drives through the right side, and that really all just is the position that our lower half gets into that's going to allow for that proper bat path. So we'll just kind of run it through a couple more times, just kind of take a look at what I'm seeing and see how that front side opens, and all your weight kind of wants to sit that back leg. Really, all staying back means for me is that we'll get our stride foot down. You know, basically, we just don't want this knee right here. We want it to get outside of that front foot. And if that front knee can stay inside the front foot, then basically we've stayed back. And again, the hand position is going to be critical right here. This is where we want our hands. And then everything else should fall into place pretty good. It's gonna allow you to be able to get to the ball in, which is the pitch that most young hitters fear. Because we don't want to get jammed. But you know, to be honest with you, probably 75% of the pitches that we get to hit are going to be outer half or outer third. Well, we need to work on getting our body in a position to be able to handle those pitches. And again, as I've mentioned, the ability to handle off-speed pitches, breaking balls and change-ups, that will just greatly improve as you improve the position of your body. Okay, so this is a drill. I know it's going to help you. You know, it's probably going to take a couple of weeks of doing this every day, banging 50 balls to 100 balls in the cage every day, and putting that tee out there and paying attention to the positions that we talked about, and then just get comfortable with it and start to see the changes will start to take place in BP and then in the game as well. So your balance is very good, and I think it's just getting the body in the right positions and getting that transfer of weight that's going to allow the barrel of the bat to stay through there a little bit. Okay, bud? Thanks for